All right, so let's look in. Let's get into some news, just because we're not going to be here all night. Vane, this is for you, buddy, because it looks like you may be the only person here, and we appreciate you. We care about you, buddy.
So,
So I'll start with you. You want to start with your article? Start with your. What's the first one you got?
well, let's go with big one. So, Mixer. Mixer is shutting down. So, Mixer was bought by Microsoft in August of 2016. It was originally started in January 2016. Originally called Beam.
Yeah.
And they were already very, very far behind. So Mixer yesterday announced that it is shutting down on July 22nd. So for those who make their living off Mixer, I can't imagine is a lot of people. They now will have no jobs. Well, what's happened here is Facebook has, now it's not confirmed, but what I imagine has happened and what many people do imagine has happened is Facebook has kind of bought part of Mixer or the assets of Mixer. So anyone who was streaming on Mixer will just move straight over to Facebook Gaming, which is slowly growing as the last year and a half, and Facebook has released like page updates and Facebook Live, and they've got the Level Up program. Taylor made big into his Facebook Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
But so Mixer's closing down. They're moving off to that. To be honest, I don't. I invested any time into Mixer. Not many people did. I think like Ninja, if you know who Ninja is, and he's that big Fortnite gamer.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
Well, he was a big one. He made millions off Twitch. I think he was Twitch's biggest streamer. And then Mixer, he signed a deal with Mixer. Try and bring more people into Mixer, more viewers, more streamers. That didn't go very well. Him and 4 other Mixers or Twitch streamers moved, and that didn't happen. Twitch sort of didn't. The way they dealt with him leaving, they basically deleted his whole account, so all his subscribers. Yeah, his whole account was completely deleted. I think he's banned. I'm not sure if he's fully banned, but I know he's a goner. So he's probably gonna move over to YouTube. Eventually, YouTube
and
will
who was
that? That was Ninja.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Mixer is closing down. That was gonna happen. No one was.
Yeah, I
Mixer.
mean, yeah, and I saw it yesterday on Twitter. You know, along with all the other interesting things that were on Twitter yesterday. But I think for me, it's from a company perspective, from a business perspective, what just a horrible way to find out that you're. And I'm talking about the people that work at Mixer. Okay, I'm not talking about the streamers. Streamers are a little bit different, and we'll get to that in a second. But I mean, imagine working at Mixer and then finding out that the company is closing by, basically the same time the public does. Like that is just to me. So that's number one, right? So having my own business, kind of understanding how that looks. I mean, wow, man, I can't believe somebody would do that. And then the second part of that is the streamers, man. Now the streamers have got time. I mean, they've given them a month, so it's not like they've just thrown a towel in and been like, hey, you're done, get out of here. That there is a little bit of an opportunity for them. And I also appreciate that they've talked to Facebook. They haven't really talked to YouTube Gaming, but of course they can do that. And then there's a couple other, PewDiePie's got DLive, and I mean there's a couple of other streaming services out there that folks can use. So I think although the streamer portion of this is bad, there are people that live on streaming on the platform for Mixer. To me, my heart really goes out to the employees because they had no idea. I mean, they basically found out the same time as the public, which just doesn't seem like a good way to do business, especially from a company as large as Microsoft. You would think that they would do better for their people, but that's a good one. Yeah. Most of the other ones are gonna be pretty good. I mean, you know, you've got Gothian, he's on there. You've got Shroud, you know, Ninja, like they're all gonna be fine, man. You know, the
They're big
majority of
enough.
them. Yeah, I think Courage is on. I mean, there's a couple other. I don't know. No, Courage is on Twitch, but there's a couple others that are on there that I know they're going to be fine. They're going to find their seat and they're going to go and be perfectly fine. It does stink though because you're like starting over, right? It's like the same thing with us. Think about it: is we uh we start something and then like you stop doing it for a couple months, like even our Twitch page here, and then all of a sudden like there's no views, and then you pick it back up, there's views, and then you stop doing it. So consistency really stinks. So having to switch platforms, I know is not going to be good for any of them. And I'm sure there's going to be some streamers that just stop streaming because it's just a lot of work, man. So okay, well
A lot of work.
that's a great article for sure. Um, my first article is Crossfire X. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Crossfire X?
I know kind of what it is. It was
Yeah,
bigger. It's an old thing, or at least it was. It goes
yeah,
back years.
yeah.
If I
Well, so it started. It's really an Asian game is kind of where it's at now, right? It's overseas and it's actually a really popular game. So I think that's a huge part of it is that and Xbox just released. I mean the beta's coming, and if you're part of their, it's not early access. I don't know what their thing's called, but
Game
if you're the
Pass,
insider program, that's
that's
what
the
it
one.
is.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
part of the
Insider.
insider program, then you get the ability to get Crossfire X now. Like you can actually download the beta and start playing it. I have not had an opportunity to play it yet, but I did watch Jack Frags today. For anybody that's ever seen him,
He's
phenomenal
great.
YouTuber. If you
He's
haven't watched it,
he's so
watch him.
funny. He's so good.
Yeah,
He knows all the stuff.
his videos are just amazing. But so I watched him play it today, and it actually looks like a really good game. And it has such good reviews from, you know, away from here, obviously from overseas right now. So I'm interested to see what, you know, how the game does. There's only a multiplayer focused on it right now, but soon there's going to be a single player as well that will be coming out, and it's going to be the team that's building that is a team that also built some other really good games. I can't remember all the games right now, but so I think I think that this may be a pretty good game, man. I think it may and it may even be good for the organization. We'll see, you know. So now I pass the torch to you, Madness, for your next article.
If I had the camera on, I would actually just be kind of grabbing that torch, but obviously I don't. So let's go with a bit of. Oh yeah. So Avatar is adding
Hmm.
its characters to Smite. I don't know if anybody watched Avatar
Yeah,
like me,
yeah,
The Last Airbender, five
yep,
times. Man, that show is awesome. Anyways, they're adding characters to Smite. We had a Smite division a long time ago, didn't we?
yeah.
Three or
We
four
did.
years ago?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games. Matter of fact, I love that game.
No, it's not. It's Diablo or Minecraft Dungeons or Far Cry.
Well, that's why I said it's one of my favorite games. It's
Oh,
not
I thought
the
you
favorite
said.
game, but you know,
Yeah. So they're adding characters to, which would be interesting. You can kind of see, pull up articles. That'd be cool. You can kind of.
damn it, Jeff. I see you. I see you out there.
There he is, brother.
Sorry.
So they're adding characters to Smite, Avatar characters. Be cool if they
Yep.
had like, fire bending, earth bending, water bending, maybe a bit of lava,
Well, they
maybe a
may.
bit of
They
metal
may.
bending.
They may. Yeah.
Working
I think it'll
in the
come.
clap
I
of a
mean,
bit.
and yeah, and that's kind of why I love. I mean, I love Smite because of that, right? Like, so if you haven't played Smite, like anybody hasn't played it, like it's a fun game, man. Like I enjoy it. I love the premise of it. You know, the idea of being, it's not really superhero, but the idea of being a god, because that's really what it's based off of. And then a smiting, it's just like such a very cool game. But you got to be, the thing, it's like any other game. You've got to have people to play with, or it's really hard to play the game because if you're playing by yourself, it just doesn't work well. So if you haven't played it, so I think it's going to be cool. I hope they break it apart like you were talking about Madness, where they have those, you know, water, earth, fire, all that. I just think that would be phenomenal, right? Like that would be so cool if they did that, which they may. So I didn't read it, so I didn't even know that it was happening, but that's cool.
Any Mike devs listening into this?
Yeah, no, it may be good. So for the Switch players out there, one of the thing any Switch player does is you got to add micro SD cards to your Switch, right? Switch comes with a very low amount of hard drive space, so you don't really have a lot. Cool part is SanDisk, the 512 gigabyte micro SD cards, they're way more affordable now than they probably have ever been. I think when I bought mine, it was actually really hard to find it, to get what you needed for it. But now, I mean, you get like $75. I mean, and I even think you probably get it cheaper than that. I think I got mine during the holiday season or whatever, and you can even get bigger models now than what I have. I think mine is only 128 or something, and now you get the 512. So if you're a Switch player, now is probably a pretty good time to look at micro SDs. So I thought that was some pretty cool news. Oh, and I just looked. I actually can get it for $55 for the 400 gigabyte. So anybody that's looking, which drives me a little nuts because even my huge hard drive that I have with for my console, that thing's almost full, man, and it's like 1 terabyte, which is just crazy to me. And I have so many games on my Switch. Do you have a Switch, Madness, or do you not?
No,
You don't do it.
no, I don't have any games that interest me on Switch. Not yet.
Man, there's so many games on there, but yeah, Bane, I do have one in mine. I mean, I have a lot of games though. I have Minecraft Dungeons. I've got Diablo. I've got
Destiny.
oh man, no, not on Switch, man.
Oh,
I just got Outer Worlds on it. Witcher, I just
ooh,
have a lot of them.
which would be
Yeah,
cool to play on the go.
yeah. And what I love, so here's the cool part because I used to travel a lot, right? So part of it for me was like the travel aspect of going out of where I am now and then going somewhere else. The dock and everything for the Switch, it was super easy to pack up in my luggage and then just take it to hotel, connect it. I got a controller that goes to the Switch, and then I can play on the TV. Like, it's really cool that you can do
Oh yeah,
that.
you can do that kind of stuff
Yeah, yeah. It's much better than like carrying an Xbox or a PlayStation or
in your
whatever.
back
Yeah, and
pocket.
then Apex Legends coming. Like, to me, that's uh, what's the other? Not Warzone. It's man.
PUBG.
No, it's I can't remember the name of the game. Hold on, I gotta find it. But it's one of those war something game. Um, let me just look at the games I have real quick.
Left. War
Oh, it's
Thunder.
so I definitely have the Legend of Zelda. Phenomenal game, by the way. Like, I mean, that's the whole reason I bought the game in the first place. So that game's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Microsoft Dungeons, I got that. That's awesome. Outer Worlds, phenomenal game. It looks like is Overwatch on? Wow, I did not know. Yeah, I think it may be Warface. The Elder Scrolls, I've got that on there. I've got Mortal Kombat on there. Is cool. Yeah, I guess it is on. I guess it is on Switch. I didn't even know that was on Switch. They've got a one of the old school Need for Speed games or something's coming to it soon, which is going to be phenomenal. That's going to be cool.
What, like Need for
Rocket
Speed
League.
2?
Yeah, it's like one of those. So
Oh,
Arc I have on
Riders on the
Switch.
Storm.
Doom Eternal I have on there. So like I have a lot of games. So the thing is with it, that's why you upgrade it, because if you don't upgrade it, you're not going to be able to, obviously store the games and stuff. But it's pretty cool. Fortnite, that's the other one I got on there. So it's pretty cool. But okay, well, back over to you, Madness, for your next news story.
Right. So, EA. So two kind of things on EA. So, EA and Star Wars, which is like Star Wars IP, which is their intellectual property, is like so expensive. If you want to
Yeah,
have any Star Wars game, have anything Star Wars in it, costs so much money. So
yeah,
EA, as a with a love-hate relationship with that company, are working on more Star Wars games, which is great. So we obviously saw Star Wars Squadrons come out, which looks unreal. Although
yep,
annoys me a little bit is the fact that like Star Wars Battlefront 1, Star Wars Battlefront 2 looked the exact same. Star Wars
mm-hmm.
Rogue, um, Fallen Order look like the graphics are pretty much the exact same.
Yeah.
That kind of annoys me. Like it's literally just different stories but same graphics.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm sure the gameplay is gonna be great, but EA have signed another deal, sort of, with Star Wars, so we're gonna see more games. Now, we know what EA says and what EA actually does are two different things, but it's
Yep.
exciting. And then EA released their version of like Game Pass or Ubisoft thing, whatever that's called. So now you can get a monthly for EA Play, which is called. You can get like
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield and FIFA and Star Wars Battlefront, and any other EA title. So they've brought that one out finally. Although I'm fairly sure they're all on Game Pass. Is somewhat new, or they just renamed their old one. That's as far as EA goes.
Let me tell you something I found interesting.
Definitely not something about me.
The Last of Us Part 2. So, like, I have a PlayStation for 2 games: God of War, The Last of Us. And if you've not played The Last of Us, my friend, you are absolutely missing one of the best games like ever. So
I'll
the
eventually play it. If I
it
get a
it is like
PlayStation.
it's phenomenal. Like, when I think of Naughty Dog, I mean, obviously there's other games Naughty Dog has done. But when I think of, kind of, the impact of the studio and kind of what it is, yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the man, I'm just telling you, like, it's such a beautiful game. It reminds me, it's almost like Red Dead Redemption, right? Like, I'm a huge fan of that. Far Cry, huge fan. Like, you start to hear like single player games, because I think if you're a studio, it's like making a movie. If you can make a single player game interesting enough that keeps people all the way through it, that they constantly want to keep watching and playing it, man, you've just done something right. And I mean, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, I love the Uncharted series, which is the other Naughty Dog kind of, the other thing. Really, I think that's the game that kind of made them initially, anyway. But when you think of The Last of Us, if you've not played that at some point in your life, you've got to get a PlayStation just for that, man, because that by far is the reason to own that platform. So it just released. So I'm not going to give any spoilers out because I don't want to, but the game does not disappoint. I will definitely tell you that
You
much.
played it already,
So
the second one.
I played some of it already. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, there's people that are. I think I read a guy today. It's like 40 something hours in, he hasn't even finished the game. I mean, that's crazy to me. Yeah,
It's like
it's crazy.
Imagine
It's like
it's like
GTA.
Witcher. It's like Witcher or those games, or
Yeah,
Assassin's
yeah.
Creed, where
I
you
mean,
can literally spend most of your time just doing side missions. Is
yeah.
it? Or
No, I mean, it's just got a really compelling story, man. It's not like your Red Dead Redemptions or some of the others, man. It's just the story. It's just a really good story. I don't want to ruin it for you, because like you've got to play it to understand it. But you'll absolutely love it, man. Like, it'll by far be the best single player game you've ever played. No questions asked, man. I don't care what game you've played. It's like that. I mean, it's almost like the Grand Theft Auto series to me. I think that they have an amazing story. Red Dead Redemption always has really good stories, or really the Red Dead series. What else? God of War usually has a pretty good series. So again, I just think if you get it, like if that's your thing, man, you got to look at it. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a really cool game that released. So,
it's okay to cry, Vane. It's okay to cry.
yeah, I think the only thing, from a studio standpoint, is I just wonder if, I wonder why they released it, because like PlayStation 5's coming soon. Like, and part of me is like, man, what better way? But at the same point, I appreciate that they did it. But, the other part of me is like, man, you could have held that, and that could have been the launch game for the PlayStation 5 and put it
I think
on.
Spider-Man. I know they've got a new Spider-Man coming out.
Yeah,
That's
I
probably
mean,
gonna be a big launch one. I know a
but
lot of kids
Spider-Man's
love that
nothing
game.
more than it's Spider-Man's really just an expansion, man. It's not like a full game.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And they still haven't, like, I mean, I know they announced a couple, but I mean, what's the title that's coming? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's some huge title. This would have been The Last of Us 2 would have definitely been the game to put out there as kind of like the release game. No question is all. So yeah, and I think they'll do the remastered for sure.
I think they said they
So
will. Oh, you've got Spider-Man Miles Morales.
yeah, yeah, but that's nothing more than an expansion, basically, is what that is. So they thought it was a full game. That's what most people thought, but then it came out it wasn't a full game. You know that it was something completely different. So and then
Yeah.
there's a couple other really good games I think that are coming. You know, I've seen a couple. There's some couple interesting. I'm trying to find the one that I just saw a little bit ago. I was looking at it because I always love looking at the new games. I mean, Battlefield 6. There was
Very
like a
teasy.
teaser. Yeah, there's a teaser that was dropped. I saw that. I think that was today or yesterday. I watched that. I saw that the new had another update. Gosh, what is that? Daggum Elite Dangerous or whatever it is. There's a little bit of an update in that game. So, I mean, I'm just waiting to see what the Xbox is going to be. We have an idea for the PlayStation.
There
Still
was
interested
leaked
to kind
date.
of see
There's
what those
leaked
are.
price
It,
$200 for Xbox. No, that
it just
doesn't sound
seems
very.
super low, right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that just seems like it's going to be, especially with the PlayStation coming out. I mean, and the PlayStation sounds like it's going to be, you know, like it's going to be up there. So, uh, yeah, Battletoads get a new one. Yeah, and then I'm interested about Battlefield 6 is like because I'd heard that there may be a Battlefield Bad Company kind of remake, like, but I haven't seen much about it. But I heard there was possibility of something coming. But you know how it is. That's just people talking. Who knows? You know if it's going to be there. Um, so I think that'll be pretty cool to kind of see what that is. What was your next article?
Gaming not much. Have a few community spotlights.
All right, give it out.
So, Goodman Crojack, Ghost Recon Division Officer, doing a special mission tomorrow, live on Twitch at 8 p.m.
Mhm.
Standard Time. And then I think he's also running a Arma Games Night or mission
Mm.
shortly. And then you may remember this senile that Overwatch turned 4 years old last month or towards the end of May, and they've been running a big competition with some great prizes, and that finishes up tomorrow. So that's
Yep.
exciting. And then there's a TG podcast. So separate to this, we had our first episode 2 weeks ago with Heart Attack Kid and Turdtastic. We kind of talked about the coronavirus and them working on their new circumstances, these new ways of living that we're all kind of becoming accustomed to now. And then
Yep.
we had one out yesterday with a person you may not know about called Typical Veteran.
No, don't know who that is. Never
Never
heard
heard
of.
of him.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, likes to bother people. Like me. Even said it in his podcast. So yeah, that's community news for you.
How the podcast go? I haven't had time to listen to it.
Good.
Yeah.
Vet is first one was very good. It's good to hear from two CEOs. No, Tartastic is an XO. But that was more focused less on TG but more on their what they do. And then Veteran obviously has a lot of experience leading in TG.
Yeah.
Got some fantastic advice. So if you haven't listened to it, that's more in the beginning of the podcast. For Veterans, I kind of talked about his growth through TG.
Yeah.
I'd definitely give that a check out. Yeah, Tam.
Yeah, he needs to grow. He's a little small. Tony, good to see you, buddy. Glad for stopping by. Yeah, he needs to. He's a little short, man. I think he's a little feller.
4'3".
Yeah, he's a little feller.
Boy.
He's got a really really loud bark, but no bite. You know, so whatever. Well, good man. Well, it's been a good week. Really enjoyed this. This week. I mean, there's hasn't been that much news. I mean, I spent time today, in fact, looking to see what other stuff had come out. And there's just not a lot of. I mean, there is some news out, but all the gaming news is kind of negative. So I didn't even want to bring it up in this, in this chat because we all, are focused on the community really and the kind of things that are coming out. But I'm interested to see kind of what comes over the next couple of days and kind of see what the updates are and stuff like that. And then of course helping Namu Jeff rank back up because he lost everything on Minecraft Dungeons. So good times. Good for him.
I already feel my back is getting sore.
Yeah, like it's already hurting. I think I stubbed my toe earlier thinking about carrying him again.
Oh,
All right. Well, I think we're good, Manus. Unless you got anything
good.
else, man, we'll sign off and thank everybody for kind of stopping by for a little bit. Vane, you're the most valuable listener, man. So we're gonna call you the MVL. So we appreciate you stopping by every single time, man. You're always here. So
Yeah, I was
can't thank
pointing
you
at you,
enough,
Vane.
bro.
I was pointing at you because you're so good.
Yeah, like right here, he's doing this to you. I'll freeze too. Okay,
There's that, that
but
banner was like, the army needs you. That's, that? Me.
that's funny.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for visiting. Tactical Gaming News Hour is now over. PG Sir Madness checking out.
Sarge checking out.